there is that void in our hearts when we don't have God. And so when we try to fill that with social media, hanging out with the wrong crowd, or trying to get pleasures from something else like drugs, it will never satisfy you.
Welcome back to the Just God podcast. This is episode 18. The topic for today is unhealthy habits, and this is our special guest, Tessa. She's going to be reading the verse of the week.
The verse of the week is found in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 31. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do it all for the glory of God.
That's a good verse, man.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk a little bit about Reagan's podcast. This will probably be a week after the Reagan's podcast is uploaded, but just thank you everybody for really just watching that video. It blew up literally overnight.
Yeah, bro, that's crazy.
I think the most we've had in a full day ever was like 80 views. I woke up to 140 views, so that is insane. That is not, I can't comprehend it,
Yeah, it's crazy.
I know. So just thank you for showing up for that podcast, just watching it. Hopefully the same people are watching this one right now. But anyways, this is our special guest, Tessa. She decided to join. She's a pretty big fan. We just found her off the street.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. So like, what do you guys think are like some unhealthy habits you guys like deal with personally?
I would definitely say procrastination. Like, always making excuses that I don't have time for God, or that I would put stuff before God, and like, I guess just procrastinate my daily devotional or something like that. That'd be too tired, or had too much going on, or had something going on the next day, and letting that be a distraction.
Yeah, man, exactly. I do that a lot. Like, I catch myself procrastinating. Like, every time I could read the Bible, I just decide not to.
Yeah.
Just because I like make up excuses and stuff. Like,
sometimes I still mess up, but like, I would rather play video games than read my Bible, and put that above God sometimes.
Yeah. Do you deal with anything?
I mean, I get the thing about the procrastination and stuff, but for me, one unhealthy habit that I deal with is jealousy. I feel like nobody really around me talks about it a lot, but I feel like in some way, shape, or form, a lot of people deal with jealousy. And I guess when I see other people's successes, or, even just what other people are doing, instead of, being inspired or whatever, I just get jealous. And so, that is super unhealthy. But going back to the verse, it says, like, it starts out, so whether you eat or drink. So it, even with, what you put into your body, it's saying, whatever you do, either that be when you're hanging out with your friends, when you are, witnessing to people, when you're just playing sports, or, do it to the honor and glory of God. And so that's even eating. And so I feel like a lot of people struggle with, I know even I did. I'm not, just saying that everybody except me, but, even I struggled with, how can you eat to the honor and glory of God, But I feel like that is one thing that is a lot of people underestimate is you can have a healthy diet that does bring honor and glory to God.
Yeah, that's true.
Dang, probably some true wisdom from a guest. Usually the guest just takes like 30 minutes to actually get in.
Yeah.
Dang, that was pretty good though. Pretty good. Just
I've always heard like when you eat like a certain meal, like say like McDonald's, like a Big Mac, it kind of feels weird, like God bless this food. And it's just like it's just like a Big Mac, and like it feels weird at first, but like God still can bless it, like even though if it's a Big Mac or not. But it's crazy.
If you don't bless it, you're gonna choke.
Like I kind of feel like
you should have done that for the Pop-Tart.
I've always seen those videos, and I'm like, it kind of feels like a little goofy to do it, but like we need to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really not even I'm gonna be honest, I actually told Pablo this the other day, but I don't pray before I eat. And so he was about to eat, and I was, he was praying, and then I kind of felt awkward because, I that's just something I am Christian, but it's actually weird. I've never, thought about just praying before I eat. And so, that does bring, glory to God, thanking him for that. But something that I see is, it's super important to have a relationship with God. And, and I'm speaking from my personal experience. When I was younger, I used to be a little bit overweight. And, so this wasn't a huge struggle for me. Like, all my life I suffered with weight problems. No, that's not the point. It's just, I was putting food before God, and that made my relationship with God struggle a little bit, I think, because, when you are unhealthy, you're focusing on other things. You're focusing on how you look, and even, that can also make you be jealous of other people because, I'm not healthy, but, look at all these people who are healthy. And, it all kind of boils down. But something that I strongly believe is you cannot have a healthy relationship with God without being healthy yourself. And that could be mentally or physically. And, it's kind of like a chain reaction because you can't be physically healthy without being mentally healthy. And you can't be mentally healthy without being physically healthy. I mean, like, you just go on about it all day. But, yeah.
That was good. I was setting up a good example when I started praying. I was praying for chicken wings. But, yeah, I mean, just like what you were saying about, like, how you focus on other things when you're, like, I guess not healthy and stuff. I remember she was trying to explain it to me, like, last night. I was like, what? Every time I, like, try to, like, guess what she, like, the main, like, message was, she was like, no.
And finally he said, like, unhealthy habits, and I was just like, okay, yeah.
And then we chose a topic. I was really just trying to guess what was going to be on the thumbnail or the topic name. Yeah. I didn't know how to put everything she just said on the title.
I was trying to explain it all in one bundle because, like, it's kind of what I just explained. You can't have a healthy body without having a healthy mind. Vice versa, you can't have a healthy mind without having a healthy body. And with those two things in consideration, it's so hard to focus on a healthy relationship with God without having both of those things. And so, that is unhealthy habits. And, and see, even this verse, it says, so whatever, you eat or drink. So yes, it is, what you put into your body, because there is this verse, I brought it up to him, but it's, I think it's also found in Corinthians, but it's like your bodies are the temple of God.
Yeah.
And so it says you have been bought at a price, and so you are not your own. And so whatever you're putting into your body, and this could be in your mind, like whatever you're consuming. And so even the unhealthy habits, like looking at your phone so much, or even consuming, like, what you're eating, so much sugar that it kills the brain, and that really does alter your relationship with God, and it's hard to focus on that.
Yeah.
Dang, bro.
I feel a little outspoken as the host.
Yeah. I said like 2 words.
Yeah. I just said, welcome back, guys.
Yeah. That's good, though.
Man, I remember she was telling me how nervous she was. Like, I don't know what to say.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Like, my heart's beating.
Just, oh my gosh. Like, that's a lot. But, I mean, like, what you're saying is, like, completely true, Because, like, even when you say, like, of course, like, food does it, but, like, also how you pointed out, like, your phone. That is such, like, I mean, we've talked about, like, a million times.
Yeah, I've always brought it up.
Can be, like, the biggest distraction when you're trying to get closer to God.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, I'm not going to get too much into phones because, like, everyone has probably heard the same thing, like, don't prioritize. I don't know how to say the word. Don't put your phone over God.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say. Or, like, it's not just your phone, it could be literally anything, like she said, food, people, when you, like, what was that thing you were talking about, like, worshiping or something? How everyone was meant to worship.
Oh, yeah. See, this goes along, we were talking last night again, just trying to come up with a title and stuff, and I read this devotional one time, and it was talking about how, either you're atheist or no matter what denomination you are, we were all created to worship something higher than us. And it's in our DNA. There are several studies about how, we as humans just have it in our DNA to worship something higher. So, other people have idols. We, of course, worship one God. But, there's, I guess for atheists, for me, it's just hard to believe that, what are you living for? Because, I'm living for God. And each day, I kind of believe this a little bit more and more. Like, my sole purpose is to live for God, because I know that when it's all said and done, God is the last thing that will be on this earth. And that's, that he is our eternity. And so when people don't live for God, I'm wondering, like, like, what are your values? But, kind of what I was talking to him about is, since we were created to worship something higher, and, if we don't prioritize God, we are left with that void because it is in us. And so, this is kind of cliche because a lot of people talk about this, but there is that void in our hearts when we don't have God. And so when we try to fill that with, consuming other things like, social media, hanging out with the wrong crowd, or trying to get pleasures from something else like drugs or anything, that kind of, it will never satisfy you. In no way, shape, or form will that ever satisfy you, because that void is meant for God, and that's kind of just what I was talking about. And so even with food, that will not fill the void either, because,
Yeah, exactly. We try to fill in so much things, like you were saying, the void that just don't fit, or they do, and then you kind of just spit them right out.
Yeah.
So stuff like that.
It doesn't last. It's very temporary.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I know that feeling where I was trying to fit in things in like my void, and I was just like, it didn't work,
Yeah.
It would make me like distractions almost. It would make me happy for a little bit, but after that.
And like when you would you would try to fill that void and it would get taken out or whatever, you kind of felt like convicted of it a little bit, and it would kind of leave a hole in your heart, and you would try to replace it with something else.
Exactly. I think it was Ryan Trahan, You know him? I told her about the
50 states.
50 states and 50 days.
Yeah.
Who
are you talking about?
But anyways, he literally explained it like in a podcast. Hopefully he comes on ours.
Maybe.
But he was just explaining how like he like the exact same thing you were saying, like trying to fit in things like in the void,
Yeah.
And he said he tried to do that. Like he literally said he had like an amazing wife. His YouTube channel was going great, so he's making a lot of money. He had all these good things, but for some reason he said he still felt empty inside. And I feel like that's how much celebrities feel, like atheists. Like people who have everything, but like there's been so many celebrities that are still depressed. Who end up committing and stuff because they even though they have millions of dollars, they have everything that you need, they don't have God, and that's what makes them feel alone. Because like George Franco and like Brandon Lake said on their podcast, like what do atheists like, what do they believe? I guess because like I guess it's easy to like just not have faith. Like even Jesus says it himself, like not much people are gonna have faith, and stuff like that. But like I kind of wonder, like what do you like how you said, what do atheists live for? What's their values and stuff?
There's really no purpose. There's no end goal.
Exactly.
And I know for Christians it's hard also to have faith, but for atheists I'm sure it's also hard, to struggle with, because I'm sure some people just don't wake up one day and believe, oh, there's no God. I'm sure, there's certain circumstances that make them, think that, there is no God. But it's hard. It's hard to have faith. It's hard to believe in God. It's hard, but it's also hard to not believe in God. And so it's just like, you're not dealing with something that's just a short decision. You're dealing with your eternity. And so you just got to choose your hard, like, will you have that faith, or it's kind of like what do you live for? I know I live for God. Sorry.
No, it's good.
I just had to add that.
I feel like that's why it's so easy for people like to be like lukewarm Christians, because they can't choose their heart. So they kind of stay right in the middle.
Yeah.
Like they believe in God, but they're not fully committed to God. But they
right
also
in the fence.
Exactly, but they also don't like exactly want to fall into the world, but they also kind of do what the world tells them to do. So it's just like they're kind of just in between. I know I used to be like that, where I would like say I believe in God, but obviously my actions wouldn't show that. They wouldn't show that I was a Christian. But like now I just feel like just leading by example helps so much. There's been like a bunch of role models in my life that have shown me like what God can do in your life, and it's testimonies are so powerful too.
For real, bro. I feel like we don't really, like, some people out there don't really see their testimonies as like something powerful. Like it could be a basic testimony, or it can still change somebody's life, like we talked about last week. Like,
just accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior is your testimony. Like you don't have to have something traumatic happen.
Going back to like what do atheists do or something. I think it was during family week we had like that sheriff come in. What's his name? Nick
Weldon.
Nick Weldon. So shout out to Nick Weldon if he's watching. I don't know if he is, the whole police academy is just in the office watching the Just Out podcast. But he talked about how there's a lot of criminals in jail, but he says that there's only like 3 options.
He said there's actually only 2 options.
Oh, 2 options.
Yeah.
I think it was either like, what was it? I know one of them. You say it.
Let me take over.
Yeah.
So he was basically, I don't know if I remember it exactly, but I do remember him saying, you know, with someone struggling with drug addiction, there's really only 2 options, and that's either they get surrounded by good, godly Christian people and they accept Jesus Christ and they do better, or, you know, they die because they're like, I'm not.
They like fall into it.
Yeah.
They fall into it because really, you know, he was talking about, you know, all this drug, you know, fentanyl. It's such a strong addiction. Like, it's so powerful that, you know, there is really nothing that can save you from that addiction except Jesus, because Jesus is that powerful, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that verse, you know, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that, you know, is so true, because really he is the only one who can save you through that. So he was, you know, basically saying there are 2 options, you know, either you really just suffer with that addiction and you just keep falling into that trap, or you know, do let Jesus help you.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, the reason why I laughed is because like I know he said like a couple of things before. He just said they die.
Well, that just about sums it up.
Yeah, pretty much. You just want to get straight to the point. So
Yeah.
just caught me off guard a little bit.
Mhm.
So I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at her.
Yeah. Thank you.
We're trying not to get canceled.
Try not to get canceled. There's been a couple of times where we had to cut some stuff.
Yeah.
We laugh at the wrong moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, just like, this is such a good topic, honestly. Just like unhealthy habits.
Yeah.
Because we don't realize, sometimes people don't even realize the unhealthy habits they're doing, you know?
It kind of just feels like it starts to feel normal.
Exactly.
I mean, as long as there's at least one other people doing what you do, it feels normal.
Mhm.
And that can be with even just being on your phone 24/7. You know, if it's just you, then, you know, it might be a little iffy, but if thousands of other teenagers do it, then, you know, I'm just like them and it's normal. But it's really not. It's not normal at all, because, you know, even just the first few commandments is like, don't have any other gods before me. And, you know, of course, like, my phone isn't a god. I don't, you know, bow down to it. But do I think about it more than I do God? And I think a lot of people do. Like, and, you know, I think, honestly, I have to admit, sometimes I do put my phone before God. You know, how many times do I sit down on the couch and choose scrolling reels rather than reading the Bible? And I can testify I do that all the time.
Your testimony?
That's my testimony.
I thought you told me you don't go through reels.
I do sometimes.
Oh,
When they're
lied.
good. It's a trap. Like,
Yeah, sometimes
I see
I
some.
catch myself like doom scrolling.
I think that's
sometimes.
literally what I did last night over FaceTime with her.
Yeah.
There's so much funny videos. But, I mean, I feel like, I don't think it's a bad thing to just do it. Like, watch a reel, you're doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, obviously, if you catch yourself doing that literally, like, consistently,
Mhm.
like
for multiple hours a day,
Exactly.
and letting that take over you going to church or you doing like your devotional time and stuff like that.
Exactly. If you put that over God, then it becomes a problem.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I know this is, we were at Family Week too, the thing that Pablo and I went to, but this guy named Clifford, or Cliff, he was talking about,
Big
Do it there.
he was talking about, you know, if you only, he was using it as a metaphor, but like, if you only eat once a week, you will starve. And so, you know, if you're only going to church and it, you know, once a week, and you're only thinking about God once a week, that will not get you through. And so all the other weeks you're consuming what other people think about you, consuming social media, you know, consuming even just food, you know, that can also, just all these distractions, all of these bad habits, you know, you will starve. Even though you're eating, you'll starve spiritually. And yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what Pastor Matthew said one time.
Maybe,
Like,
yeah.
going to church, like, would you only eat once a week? So, like, when Cliff said it, I, like, realized, like, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boo for originality. But, I mean, it was a good message, honestly. Like, because, like, if you only worship God, like, when you're at church, then, like, you know, it's easy to worship God in a church where other people are worshiping. And it's like you said, like, it feels normal to do bad habits when you're around people who also do the same bad habits.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's also important of where you are, you know?
Mhm.
Because I feel like with my friend group, you know, like obviously at church I could just worship and then just like
Yeah.
not do it for the whole week, and then once I'm at church again, worship again.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when you surround yourself around the right people, you know, you're gonna be influenced by them. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you're gonna start a podcast with them.
And it's also that thing, choosing your hard, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard to be around people who, you know, have those unhealthy habits, but it's also hard to fall into those unhealthy habits and to suffer the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And so ultimately, it's just deciding, you know, how do you want to live your life? If you want to live your life for God, then you got to choose that hard of, you know, you will be left out. You will, you know, not get to experience some things that other people do, but, you know, maybe that's the point, you know, because really being involved in certain things really might not be the point, and it's just to focus on God. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's some really good points.
Yeah.
You know, last night, we were trying to look for a guest.
Oh yeah.
We were trying to look for a guest, and we had like reached out to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we might have some of those people didn't like straight up say no. They were like, "We'll do it."
They just had
but, like,
stuff going on
next
yeah.
time. You know, like next
Mhm.
time you have an episode. So we might have some people.
Yeah,
We've
new
been trying
people.
to get one person for months.
Yeah.
We were trying to get this one specific person for like ever.
Maybe
but
it's just like we
timing.
talked last week. Yeah, the timing.
the timing. Once you know, maybe they had to go through like a testimony, like something powerful, and then when they're once on the podcast, they can share that
Yeah.
or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like I was on the phone with her last night, and like I think Brock just texted me like, "We have no one."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Uh-oh, not good." So I was just like, I just told her like, "You want to be on the podcast?" And she said, I had to convince a little bit because like obviously it's not easy.
Bribery.
Like,
No, I'm just kidding.
I slid to.
All right, we're back.
I don't know where to start off.
I can. Say
Anyways,
that.
I'll just go back. So like I had to convince her a little bit, you know.
it's not that I didn't want to come on. Like, I don't hate
Yeah.
your podcast.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just-
that's what I mean. I was like, I was about to
Yeah.
say, like it takes a lot, like you know, to
It's a little
come out
nerve-wracking
here.
at first.
Yeah,
Okay.
to come out here and of course be on camera and like speak, you know.
Yeah.
And like at the time when he asked me, I didn't have anything crazy to talk about. And
Yeah.
so that's why I was telling him, like, you know, all of these things, and he was trying to tell me the title, and I was like, no. But I don't know.
She came back. She said, "Let me ask my parents real quick." And she came back with such a convincing story. She's like, "My mom said yes, but my dad said no. I just can't go." And I was like, "Oh, okay." She's like,
You
"Just."
didn't say, oh, okay. You were very disappointed.
I was like, "Why?" She's like, "Just kidding."
You're gonna break a table in the background.
I was crying when she said no.
Yeah.
But she happened to say yes, and like obviously now, she's spitting really
Bars.
wisdom. Yeah, she is dropping some crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Going back, let's get a little off topic for a little bit.
Yeah.
So what she said when we went to Family Week, that was like last week.
Mhm.
Me and her also like volunteered to do VBS. So
Mhm.
we ended up doing like the outside. I haven't told you this, so I'm not
Oh yeah.
Those
Say
kids
it
were
on
so
camera.
cute.
Yeah.
there was these kids and we do the outdoor activities, so like the sports and stuff. And one day we did like kickball,
Yeah.
and one of the very first rules was just like don't throw it at them, like
No,
you're gonna grab the ball,
yeah.
just tap them, right? So the first kick, this girl kicks the ball, and like it's not too far, so the girl picks it up,
Yeah.
and the girl's running to first base. And like, you know, obviously you're supposed to tap him.
Yeah.
And since she throws it, hits her right in the face, and she like
my
falls.
God.
She like tumbles over.
I lost my self-control for a minute.
How old was
Yeah.
the kid?
Maybe like 5.
Oh god.
they're like little kids.
Yeah.
So we were like, you can't do that.
And I think I'm even the one who told them, like, when you get the ball, make sure you don't throw it. You just go up and tag them. And I got the ball and I threw it.
Yeah,
at her.
literally the
Like,
next day, she like
And
this
I
girl
was-
was running to like home base. She was running. Tessa grabbed the ball, chunked it at her, hit her back. It's so funny.
Oh my god.
But then there was another time where, like, y'all, I do not need to be playing kickball with another kid because they kicked the ball and someone caught it, and I was like, "You're out." And she kind of looked at me like, "Oh,
she made a kid cry.
Oh my gosh.
I did."
Joss.
Oh yeah, I did.
She's like, you're out. He's like, eh.
Yeah, I
He's like-
told him, he was out, and so I was like, "You're out," and then he just broke down crying.
I remember this one time she was like just a pitcher, but once they kicked it, she grabbed it and like threw it. Like I don't think she threw it. I think she tapped him, but like you're out. And she wasn't like even on the team. She just wanted to feel included.
Yeah.
It's
a fun game.
It is a fun game. And then we tried to play Foursquare, but it started raining. So
Foursquare is fun though.
Yeah, Foursquare. We ended up playing for like 2 minutes.
I have like a crazy story. I played like dodgeball in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and I had the ball.
There's a lot of funny dodgeball moments from this year.
I had the ball, and I chunked it at him, hit him in the face, and like it was like yeah, he got shot with a sniper and like collapsed. And he went to go tell the PE teacher at the time. And
at the time,
yeah,
what happened?
And well, this is at like a whole different school.
Yeah, okay.
And I didn't get in trouble. It was like it's part of the game.
I remember one time Jonathan was just on the ground. Everyone was throwing dodgeballs.
Let's get pelted.
Yeah, it was like in slow motion. He was screaming for help. Dodgeball was so funny.
Dodgeball has some funny moments.
I remember we had like the whole tournament, bro. For like the homecoming games or something like that. That was insane.
It was rigged.
It literally felt like it was literally 1v1s between classes.
Yeah,
that might have been the coolest thing.
That was crazy.
And like we only got one turn.
Yeah,
I still remember that. I will forever hold that grudge.
Maybe this year we can get
play
more
5 times.
Yeah,
yeah.
Hopefully.
But yeah, VBS was really fun. Vacation Bible School for people who don't know.
Yeah.
But I forgot who I said it to. I said I'm going to VBS, and they're like, what? Or something like that. I know it was my cousin. I was like, I have to volunteer.
VBS?
Yeah. It's like, what the frick is VBS? I was like, oh, it's Vacation Bible School.
Yeah. And some people think like you go on vacation.
Yeah, actually.
It's just like
it's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Yeah. She invited me to do VBS.
Yeah, it was like a month before.
Yeah, she was like,
we planned ahead.
Yeah, she was like, do you want to volunteer for VBS? And I was like, what?
We didn't even know it was going on.
Yeah, I had no idea.
It was going on at
my
our
aunt
church.
was the one setting up everything, and she invited me.
Yeah.
But another thing was also, I think it was like a bluegrass concert or something on the last night.
Yeah.
They had this like bluegrass
really?
concert. Yeah. It was Wednesday, like 2 days before. She was like, I think we were watching Notebook. They were dancing. She's like, that's gonna be us in the bluegrass concert, and I was like, the what?
What's bluegrass?
Yeah, I don't really listen to bluegrass.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard of them, but I've never listened to a song.
Yeah, they're crazy. There's this crazy. This is not. I was gonna say this crazy lady, but there's this lady with the crazy big bass.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like huge. It hit like.
She goaded at it.
It was like an upright bass. She was good. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like this band, and they came to perform like bluegrass. I don't listen to bluegrass, but it's like I don't go on Spotify and search up bluegrass, but it's but I mean it was good. But what was funny is he thought we were gonna go there to dance.
Oh yeah, I thought we were dancing because you like put in my head that's gonna be us doing blue dance. So I was like,
doing blue dance.
Well, they're performing. I thought we were gonna dance, but it said we just sat down.
Did they sing like it's like a Christian?
Yeah, it was like
Christian.
It was like gospel music, but
they did Amazing Grace.
Oh
Yeah.
dang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think what was a honky tonk?
What?
It sounds inappropriate, but according to her,
honky tonk?
according to her, it's like you explain it. I don't want to explain it.
We were sitting in church talking about a honky tonk. That was not okay, but
What is that?
You're right here.
no, I don't even know how to explain it either. It was just the joke of like he wore his cowboy boots and we were listening to bluegrass music and
it's like a club. It's like a country club.
Yeah,
It's like you dance. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to get that.
and I was
out
like, I was going the long route of trying to explain it, but he
Yeah.
was
His mom was just going places.
yeah, I was like, we're not in a honky tonk.
Yeah, I think she asked her grandma like, "What's a honky tonk?" And her grandma gave me like this full explanation.
Yeah.
I used to go to the honky tonks back then in '68.
That's crazy.
I was like, okay.
She's probably like, what in the world? What are they asking me?
Isn't this regular?
That's wild, man.
I know.
When you said honky tonk, I was like, what the heck?
I've never heard of that either. She's like, I forgot how you use it. You're like, we're not in a honky tonk. I was like, honky. I don't know how to say it. It's not a normal word. It's not normal. She's like, this is. I was like, I thought we were gonna dance. She's like, this is not honky tonk. I laughed.
Oh yeah.
I thought she just made up that word, but
That's
it's
when
like,
I asked my grandma. I had my grandma explain it.
yeah, her
Yes.
grandma, and like I was like, okay. So it's pretty much just like
But it was not a honky tonk, guys.
a
We were
juke
just sitting
joint.
down.
It's like a juke joint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
We were just listening to bluegrass music, Christian bluegrass music. It was good.
Sitting down.
Yeah, sitting down. We
Yeah.
did not dance.
We did not honky tonk up the place.
No.
That's crazy.
But getting back a little bit to the topic.
Yeah. I don't know what that was, but it's all right.
We're gonna literally our timestamp is literally gonna be honky tonk.
Yeah.
But,
Oh my gosh.
but you definitely were prepared today, or not prepared. I think it just came to you.
Mhm.
That's how it is all the time.
No, really,
Yeah.
I like the only thing I found this verse this morning actually, and I was not prepared whatsoever. But I feel like when you start speaking, like here, I'll give my testimony. Like it's right now, it's currently like when I sat down here, I had no idea what I was gonna say, but it just kind of flows. So I think that's the Holy Spirit.
That's
speaking
literally how I
through.
explained it yesterday.
Yeah,
She was
he
like,
was trying to explain it to me. I was like, okay, so do I need to bring notes? Do I need to like?
she's like, she needs like a full script.
Yeah.
A teleprompter.
Yeah. Do I need to have like all of everything that I'm going to say right in front of me? He's like, no, like, you know, you just sit here and it kind of comes through you. And, you know, I do watch y'all's podcast and it's kind of like, it is raw. It kind of comes natural. And I think, you know, even though some people might not put it this way, but, you know, I think it is, the Holy Spirit does work and speak through people. So, you know, there might be people out there needing to hear something. And so, you know, we say it, even though I had no idea what I was going to say.
Yeah.
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 I mean, me neither. I didn't even like. We
No,
literally
that's
just found the
crazy.
verse of the week, literally.
Like
from her.
literally like the past 2 podcasts, it's all been just raw. Like we used to, I mean, like back in
Ask
the day,
questions.
ask
I literally
questions.
said this to her. Yes, like we literally went to ChatGPT and like looked up questions.
Yeah.
So that what kind of felt a little, not forced, but like
It kind of
it didn't come from
it
us.
like it was kind of like a crutch we leaned on a little
exactly.
bit.
Like when we just didn't know what to talk about, we kind of just like,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and use ChatGPT.
Which sometimes I mean it is like I guess it can be
yeah,
like used for good, but I feel like when we use it the entire podcast,
exactly. Then
you'd
it
be
just
like
kinda
on the
takes away.
50th question and just be like, bruh.
Yeah. So the camera just died, or no, it didn't die. I mean, the card was full.
Yeah, the card.
Bro, I'm not gonna go back into like the Just Got podcast origins.
This guy always said.
Yeah, like I got called out for it yesterday. Like, bro, stop talking about the origin. We get it. You painted the full picture. But like, yeah, I mean, back then we can now see through the monitor when the
Yeah,
camera's off.
like the little side thing.
Yeah, like we were just saying, there'd be times where we didn't have it flipped. So like, if it died during the podcast, we had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And like some of the stuff we were talking about was actually like really, really good, and then
Yeah.
it just didn't make
never
the cut.
never got on yeah, exactly. So,
But maybe there was a reason for it. You never know. I mean,
yeah, true.
even though it was like good to us, like
Mhm.
I mean, you never know.
I didn't know you highlighted your Bible. I don't think I've ever seen your Bible actually.
Yeah.
Luckily, the Bible is not flipping. Like,
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
then you can do
Reagan's-
like
Yeah.
I love the little zoom in.
yeah.
Just
This
like-
is what time we went.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, that would have been crazy if we like looked at a verse and like it was exactly like what we needed.
Exactly, like highlighted too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been crazy. I didn't
Yeah.
look at it though. I looked at it like once and then.
Yeah, I think I kept looking at it. Just he's like, I don't know. I felt the wind.
Yeah.
I felt the
Was the
pressure.
fan on above?
Yeah, it was on.
Oh.
Yeah. New background. Well, I guess, kind of. Yeah.
we switched locations like 20 times.
Yeah. We've been in like 3 different locations.
We went from outside of San Mountain, Brashers,
Oh yeah, 4 now.
5, Rainsville Church. And now we're back at 5.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
to
like going
Brashers
backwards. It's like
soon.
going backwards. The next week is Brashers, then it's
Yeah.
outside of San Mountain.
I remember we used to talk about it like at like the start of summer. It was like we need to do an outside podcast like in the morning
Yeah.
beside the lake. That never happened.
We didn't end up painting like we were like gonna do it at that one property you have where, like,
Yeah.
like it's in Gunnersville and the lake was like right there.
Mhm.
We cannot afford it.
Yeah.
We gotta do that one time.
It's just
Hopefully.
hard because like the camera maybe could like overheat. or
Yeah,
something
it like
that.
overheats. So like maybe fall, but like at the same time,
Oh, bro, that'd be crazy.
like a fall
Halloween
podcast.
podcast.
Have you seen those people that like have like the mugs, like coffee mugs?
Yeah.
And it's just like it's cold, but they have like hoodies on. That
Yeah.
looks comfortable.
That would actually be so nice having a podcast outside.
Yeah, I think it's just the only problem would be like wind. Because I know the outside one, there was a lot of wind.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah. And we had the yellow jackets.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there was so much. We had to cut so many times from Zach's because there was like bees everywhere. I
Yeah.
think it was only like There's like 2 under his seat.
Yeah.
It was like, it was crazy. It was definitely not. It was not. It was a safety hazard.
That'd be crazy having a Halloween podcast.
Halloween?
Yeah, like upload it on Halloween.
Oh.
We all dress up.
We're like a disciple each.
Yeah. Somebody's Jesus.
We have like water on the tables and like magically turns to purple. There's water to wine.
That'd be crazy.
The Last Supper podcast is like, I don't know,
Bro.
2 more tables.
That'd be crazy.
That'd be funny. No, anyways, back to topic.
So getting back on topic. Wait, I flipped my Bible, but luckily I have my, what do you call this?
A bookmark.
Oh yeah, bookmark or whatever.
Bible mark.
So I'm gonna read it again. So whether you eat or drink or whatever you do. So it did mention whether you eat or drink, and I don't know the context between this, but above it says, if I can thank God for the food and enjoy it, why should I be condemned for eating it? And then it goes on to say that I don't do what's just best for me. I do what is best for others so that many may be saved, and you should imitate me just as I imitate Christ. And so, you know, in the middle of all of that it says whatever you do. And so, you know, I think this also applies like your talents. I think everyone is given talents, whether that be, you know, big or small. I know that like I do sing. I've sung ever since I was in in the womb. But I started singing at my church, and I would get so nervous and going up on stage, like my hand would be shaking, and I knew that when I would get up there and start singing, it would all be okay, and you know that it would be fine. But you know, I was still nervous, and there was just at some points like, you know, is singing really worth being so nervous over? And through the years, you know, I've still continued to sing at church. I've sung at funerals and at other events, and so far, I feel
performance soon.
But I feel like God, like when you use it for God, for His honor and glory, He continues to bless it. And I've noticed that so much because I was being a little bit selfish when I was younger of like, you know, I'm so nervous, I can't do this. Like, you know, sometimes my pastor at church would come up to me and be like, hey, can you have special music this day? And I'd be like, you know, let me get back with you, because really it wasn't because I'd be busy. It's because, you know, can I handle being that nervous? But, you know, is it, you know, when you're doing it for God, when you're doing it for the audience of one, it is so worth it. And He blesses it. And I can even tell, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't know if I will ever use my singing as a career, because I do love it and I am passionate about it, but I don't know if I'm, you know, would make a career out of it. But I can definitely tell that I know for sure that if I do continue, God will always bless it, especially when you use it for His honor and glory. And so, I mean, that's like for whatever you do, you know, anything you do with your talents. You know, some people play sports, you know, you are doing short films, making a podcast. I mean, you're doing it for His honor and glory. Yeah. And, you know, I know that He continues to bless that in several ways. And, so yeah.
Exactly, that's a good message. I remember like what you said about doing it for the glory of God. That's literally what me and Brock told each other, because me and him are in praise team, and we'll probably be in praise team this year. Yeah. But I remember I was so nervous, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I was about to just throw up.
I remember sitting at the lunch table, and I think it was Catherine. She was like, come to this table if you want to be part of praise team. And we had talked about it. We had talked about it months prior, and was like, we're going to do it.
And, like, we did. Like, this is what I mean by we're spontaneous. Yeah. But I think I was just like, let's do it, man.
Yeah. I was going to stay back.
Yeah. It was so easy to like say it, but when it actually came time, everyone was going. Like, it was like in front of everyone. So if you got up, everyone in the school, or like 7th through 9th or 12th grade, would have known you were going to be on praise team. So everyone was walking, and I was just like,
I remember you told me, you was like, I mean, we kind of made a promise.
We made a promise, man. I was like, let's not do it for ourselves. Let's do it for the glory of God.
Yeah.
And, like, we were a little late.
Yeah.
Because we were just, like, trying to convince each other, like, we're not going to die.
Yeah.
We joined praise team.
Not going to get shot.
But we, like, got up and we're like, let's go. And, like, people were, like, looking. Wow. And then we ended up doing it literally. I thought we would just do it, like, once every month. We did it, like, every week.
Yeah.
She'd be like, Brock, Pablo, again, like, do it this week. And then we just have different people doing it with, but it'd be us. Mainly, you know. And like when you do that, you have to show up at school early, so I had to wake up at like 5.
Yeah, it
I
was like
so tired, but it was worth it, honestly. Like,
yeah,
I
it was
remember
really
the
worth
first time
it.
I was so nervous, but once I got up there, you just feel worship and see other people also worship with you.
Yeah, I feel like people see it as like you're the one on stage, but I mean everybody's singing with you.
Exactly.
Like, especially there, like everybody can see the lyrics and stuff, and people are singing with you.
Yeah.
And that's also the other thing of like going back to choosing your hard. Even the simple things. It's hard to get up on stage in front of people, but in this verse it says, don't do what's just best for you, because you're doing it so that others can be saved, and you're imitating Christ. And I'm sure that Jesus, when he was here on earth and when he was ministering to other people, I don't doubt that he was nervous, I'm sure, but he still did it, and he did it for his Father, and he saw him through it, and he did save people. And so kind of choose your heart. Will you be nervous and know that you never did it and never know that what could have came out of that, or will you do it and the possibility of saving a soul?
Exactly. And like saving a soul, like what you talked about last week. Someone else's eternity is more important than your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you feel like God's calling you to go talk to a person or go sing and you don't do it, that could have been someone's moment to accept Christ.
Exactly.
Through you.
Wait, sorry. I was in I live in Fort Payne, but I go away to a boarding academy and in Calhoun, Georgia, and so I live in a dorm. And so I was on my hall with all of these girls in my class, and it is a Christian school, and I was super blessed to be able to go to this school. And so we were all kind of just in our dorm room, and we just started talking. We had our Bibles. We said, we're going to do like a little Bible study. And so we did, and we were just sitting there talking, and then, we just got more in depth, just talking about more stuff. And, actually this is where, I know I flipped to James. This is where all of this highlighted came from, is when I was sitting in that dorm room. And we were just going through James and highlighting thing after thing. And we were sharing so many perspectives, because I had my perspective of my relationship with God. They had their perspective. And it was so amazing, because you know what? We could have been in our dorm rooms scrolling on our phone, but instead of consuming, we were giving back. And, we were kind of like feeding each other. And it was so refreshing. Like I left feeling really uplifted. And I had never went through the book of James before, but I highlighted so many things and in James, and it just felt so good. And so that's kind of like that thing of just getting out of your comfort zone, saying that one word of, hey, let's get together and have a Bible study, that turned into something that I will keep forever. I will have these highlighted verses forever. And, so it's just, again, choose your heart. Like, go talk to those people, share your experience with God, because you don't know what will come out of it.
Just reading some of the highlighted verses, they're like good.
I mean, do y'all want to read some? This is, so we were kind of like wondering, like, we had this devotional book, and we were like, so do y'all want to read the devotional book, or we can just, pull it out straight from the Bible? And so I think it was kind of unanimous, let's just get it straight from the Bible. So we flipped to James, and so the first, it's greetings from James, and so I won't read that, but then faith and endurance. And we kind of took turns reading. And this was the first time that I had really ever got with a group of girls and read. But that's the thing, is like, I could have read this and got it in my perspective, but then having other people reading it back, I kind of see it through their eyes. And it was so eye-opening. And so it says, dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. And we would all kind of just like, okay, let's stop right there and listen, kind of just reflect back on that. Like, okay, so when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it joy. And we were thinking, like, why would we consider it a joy? Because, like, it says any troubles, and it's hard to do that. It's hard to consider them great joys. And so, we'd kind of reflect on that, share a little bit of our, like how our day was hard and how it was really hard to find joy in that. And, we kept reading. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. And, like, it's kind of like, there you go. When your faith is tested by how many hard things comes your way, it's, it is bad, everybody experiences bad things, but that, change your perspective. Look at it as a chance to grow. Look at it as a chance for endurance, because, when you're dealing with your eternity, and so you want your endurance to be fully grown as it can. And so, consider those hard times as joy. And so it says, so let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing. And, that's just kind of crazy how it ends with needing nothing. Like, if you have your faith, you have your endurance, and you need nothing.
Exactly. Yeah, that's some really good. I don't think I've ever really dived into James before.
Yeah, I haven't either. That was the first time that I did, but like diving, if I would have, dove into it by myself, I would have skimmed through all of these things, and I wouldn't have gotten the perspective of, other people's, because everybody's brains works differently, and, everybody's experiences are different. So when we were talking about it, it was just really inspiring. And so then we went on a little bit more, and it says, God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. And, I highlighted that again because it's, God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. And that's kind of something that, I want to, I know we all endure temptation, but, do we have that endurance to at the end, like, can God tell us, like, well, what is it? Good job, like my good and faithful servant. Yeah. Like, I want to be told that. And I want to be blessed by all of the hard times that I endure. And then on down, it says, whatever is good and perfect is coming down to us from God, our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. And I just, that's kind of straightforward, but I highlighted it because it was kind of just saying whatever is good and perfect, it comes from God. Everything good and perfect in our life, it does come from God. And I just think that was a really good verse.
Yeah.
This was episode 18, Unhealthy Habits, with Tessa. Thank you, Tessa, for coming out.
Thank y'all for having me.
Really good podcast.
Yeah.
And that's a wrap. We'll see y'all next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.